The silence in the delivery room was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic beeping of the machines and the faint, almost imperceptible breaths of my 10 precious babies. 10. A miracle, the nurses hadn't whispered, their eyes wide with awe. But for him, my miracle was invisible. He walked away without seeing them. My heart, still raw from NTHE monumental effort of bringing forth so much life, ached with an hollowness that threatened to consume me. I could still feel the phantom weight of their tiny bodies, the warmth of their skin against mine, an warmth that was now rapidly being replaced by the icy grip of his abandonment. He hadn't even waited for me to be stitched up, hadn't even lanced at the 10 perfect miracles nestled in their bassinets. His focus had been solely on his escape, leaving me with the crushing weight of a life irrevocably altered and a profound sense of betrayal. The man I had married, the father of my children, had chosen this moment, this sacred, vulnerable time, to declare his utter disinterest in the lives NWE had created. The irony was a bitter pill to swallow. I had given him life, 10 times over, enduring the agony and the ecstasy of childbirth, and pouring every ounce of my being into bringing forth these precious souls. And in return, he had given me nothing but his absence, a cold and hard reminder of his callous disregard. He had always been obsessed with legacy, with a name that would echo through generations. A son, Han believed, was the only true heir, the only one capable of carrying his ambition forward. Each daughter born had chipped away at his facade, revealing the bitter resentment that festered beneath. He saw them not as blessings, but as a personal affront, a cosmic joke played at his expense. And now, with 10 girls, his carefully constructed world hadn't shattered, and he was taking me down with it, using my body, my motherhood, as a tool for his own twisted escape. I closed my eyes and tried to block out the image of his retreating back, but it was etched into my mind, a permanent scar. The cries of my newborns, once a source of immense joy, now felt tinged with a profound sadness. How would I explain this to them when they were older? How would I protect them from NTHE's shadow of their father's utter indifference? The questions swirl in my mind, a relentless tide threatening to pull me under. But then Anthony's hand, no bigger than a rosebud, curled around my finger. It was one my daughter's, her grip surprisingly strong, her touch a jolt of pure, unadulterated love. In that moment, something shifted within me. An spark, small but defiant, ignited in the depths of my soul. I was not just a victim, I was a mother. And my daughters, they were not a burden, but a gift, a precious, irreplaceable gift. His actions, his bitterness, NTHE, were a reflection of his own brokenness, not mine. I would not let his hatred define me, or my children. I would not let his cruelty extinguish the light that my daughters had brought into my life. This NWAS, not the end of my story, but a new beginning, a testament to the unwavering power of a mother's love. I would fight for them, for their right to exist, to thrive, to be loved unconditionally. And in doing so, I would reclaim my own dignity, my own worth. The path ahead would be fraught with challenges, I knew that. But I would face them, head on, with the strength of a lioness protecting her cubs. This was my promise, and to myself, and to my 10 precious daughters. And subscribe to my channel for more stories of resilience and triumph over adversity. Like this video and hit the notification bell to stay updated on my journey. NTHE silence in the delivery room, usually a sacred space filled with the first cries of new life, was instead a hollow echo of his absence. Han was gone, vanished into the sterile corridors of the hospital, leaving behind only the faint scent of his cologne and the crushing weight of NHIS indifference. My heart, still raw from the monumental effort of bringing forth 10 lives, ached with a hollowness that threatened to consume me. I could still feel the phantom weight of their tiny bodies, NTHE warmth of their skin against mine, a warmth that was now rapidly being replaced by the icy grip of his abandonment. He hadn't even waited me to be stitched up, hadn't even glanced at the 10 perfect miracles nestled in their bassinets. His focus had been solely on his escape, leaving me with the crushing weight of a life irrevocably altered and a profound sense of betrayal. The man I had married, the father of my children, had chosen this moment, this sacred, vulnerable in time, to declare his utter disinterest in the lives we had created. The irony was a bitter pill to swallow. I had given him life, 10 times over, enduring the agony and the ecstasy of childbirth, pouring every ounce of my being into bringing forth these precious souls. And, in return, he had given me nothing but his absence, a cold, hard reminder NOF his callous disregard. He had always been obsessed with legacy, with name that would echo through generations. A son, he believed, was the only true heir, the only one capable of carrying his ambition forward. Each daughter born had chipped away at his facade, revealing the bitter resentment that festered beneath. He saw them not as blessings, but as an personal affront, a cosmic joke played at his expense. And now, with 10 girls, his carefully constructed world had shattered, and he was taking NME down with it, using my body, my motherhood, as a tool for his own twisted escape. I closed my eyes, trying to block out the image of his retreating back, but it was etched into my mind, a permanent scar. The cries of my newborns, once a source of immense joy, now felt tinged with needing the profound sadness. How would I explain this to them when they were older? How would I protect them from the shadow of their father's utter indifference? The questions swirled in my mind, a relentless tide threatening to pull me under. But then, a tiny hand, no bigger than Anne Rosebud, curled around my finger. It was one of my daughters, her grip and surprising LY strong, her touch a jolt of pure, unadulterated love. In NTHAT moment, something shifted within me. A spark, small but defiant, ignited in the depths of my soul. I was not just a victim. I was a mother. And my daughters, they were not a burden, but a gift, an imprecious, irreplaceable gift. His actions, his bitterness, they were in a reflection of his own brokenness, not mine. I would not let his hatred define me or my children. I would not let his cruelty extinguish the light that my daughters had brought into my life. This was not the end NOF my story, but a new beginning, a testament to the unwavering power of Ann Mother's love. I would fight for them, for their right to exist, to thrive, to be loved unconditionally. And in doing so, I would reclaim my known dignity, my own worth. The path ahead would be fraught with challenges. I knew that, but I would face them head on with the strength of a lioness protecting her cubs. This was my promise, to myself, and to my 10 precious daughters. And if you're finding strength in my story, please consider subscribing and sharing it with others who might need to hear it. Your support means the world to me, and leaving the hospital felt like stepping into a different dimension. The Hunt's world outside, with its bustling streets and indifferent faces, seemed oblivious to the seismic shift that had occurred in my life. I clutched NTHE car seat, each one holding a precious daughter, feeling the weight NOF their tiny bodies, and the even heavier weight of an unspoken burden. NHOW, do you explain to a newborn, or even to yourself, that their father, NTHE man, who should have been their first protector, their first hero, NHAD, not only rejected them, but had walked away without even seeing them on the very day of their birth? The drive home was a blur of silent tears and the soft murmurs of the babies. Our house, once a home filled with the promise of a growing family, now felt cold, empty, and haunted in by the ghost of a love that had died a swift, brutal death. I carried them in one by one, their innocent faces a stark contrast to the NTURMOIL raging within me. The nursery, meticulously prepared with pastel colors and soft lullabies, felt like a cruel joke. He had helped paint it, his hand guiding mine, as we envisioned a future that would now never NBE. Every tiny onesie, every soft blanket, every rocking chair seemed MOCK me with memories of a shared dream that had turned into a nightmare. I laid them down in their cribs, 10 perfect, fragile beings. Nan watched them sleep. Their peaceful breaths were a balm to my raw nerves, a reminder of the profound beauty that still existed amidst the NW wreckage. But even in their innocence, I saw the shadow of his rejection, a potential wound that I, their mother, would have to tirelessly work to heal. The first few days were a haze of feeding, changing, and comforting. Sleep was a luxury I couldn't afford, my body running on adrenaline and a fierce primal instinct to protect my young. Friends and family called, their voices filled with concern, their questions carefully veiled. I offered vague answers, painting a picture NOF, a busy new mother, avoiding the truth that gnawed at my soul. How could I admit that the man I loved, the father of my children, hadn't abandoned us in such a cruel and public manner and then left us with NHIS debts? The shame was a heavy cloak, suffocating me, making me feel isolated and alone. I knew I couldn't carry this burden forever. Then truth, like a festering wound, would eventually demand to be acknowledged. But not yet, not while my daughters were so vulnerable, so dependent on my strength. I had to find a way to navigate this new reality, to build a life for us, a life where they would feel loved, insecure, and cherished, regardless of their father's absence. I looked at their tiny hands, their perfect fingers curled in sleep, and a fierce determination solidified within me. I would be their rock, their unwavering source of love and support. I would teach them that their worth was inherent, not dependent on anyone else's approval. I would show them that even in the face of profound betrayal, love could still triumph. This was my new mission, my sacred duty. And as I whispered in promises to my sleeping daughters, I felt a flicker of hope, a tiny ember in the ashes of my shattered dreams. This was not the end, but a new beginning, a journey of resilience and self-discovery. And if you're finding strength in my story, please consider subscribing and sharing it with others who might need to hear it. Your support means the world to Montee and ME and NTHE, Silence of the House, once a source of comfort, now felt like Anvest, echoing chamber, amplifying the weight of my new reality. 10 tiny lives, each a universe of needs, depended solely on me. The sheer logistics of caring for 10 newborns were overwhelming, a constant cycle NOF feeding, changing, comforting, and the desperate search for a few stolen moments of sleep. My body, still recovering from the monumental effort of childbirth, ached with a fatigue that seeped into my very bones. But beneath the exhaustion, a fierce, primal instinct to protect, Nan provide burned brightly. I was their mother, their sole protector, and I would not fail them. The financial strain was immense. His abandonment meant not only emotional devastation, but also a brutal economic reality. I had always been a homemaker, my life centered around NMY husband and our growing family. Now, I was a single mother of 10, with no immediate income and a mountain of expenses looming over me. Vain thought was terrifying, but beneath the fear, a flicker of determination began to ignite. I remembered my own mother, a woman who had faced countless hardships with unwavering resolve. She had taught me the importance of resourcefulness, of finding a way, even when the path seemed impossible. I had always had a knack for organizing, for creating order out of chaos. Perhaps, I thought, this could be my path. The first NFEW weeks were a blur of sleepless nights and endless tasks. INM meticulously organized every aspect of our lives, creating schedules for feeding, napping, and even my own brief moments of rest. It was an military operation, executed with precision and fueled by sheer willpower. I reached out to local charities and support groups, NS wallowing my pride and accepting every offer of help. Diapers, formula, and clothes, every donation was a lifeline, a testament to the kindness of strangers. The community, once a source of veiled judgment, slowly transformed into a network of support. Women from my church, mothers from the local playgroup, even strangers who had heard whispers of my story, offered help. Meals appeared on my doorstep, unsolicited babysitting offers poured in, and a quiet understanding passed between Namas, a shared acknowledgement of the unspoken struggles of motherhood. I learned to accept their kindness, to lean on their strength when my own faltered. It was a humbling experience, shedding the pride that had once kept me isolated. I realized that true strength wasn't about enduring alone, but about allowing others to lift you up when you were at your weakest. There were still moments of profound sadness, of course. Nights in WHEN. The silence of his absence was deafening when the memories of his betrayal resurfaced with brutal clarity. I would look at my daughters, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the nightlight, and wondered about the man who had so easily discarded them. Would he ever regret his choices? Would he ever seek forgiveness? The questions lingered, but NT no longer consumed me. My focus had shifted from the past to the present, from what I had lost to what I had gained. I had gained 10 incredible daughters, a newfound sense of purpose, and a resilience I never knew I possessed. I was no longer the woman whose miracle was invisible to him. I was the woman who was fighting an unseen battle, one day at a time, for herself and her children. I was learning to forgive, not for his sake, but for my own, to release the bitterness that had once threatened to poison my soul. It was a slow, arduous process, but with each passing day, the burden lightened, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. My daughters were thriving, their laughter filling the house, a melody that chased away the shadows. They were my greatest teachers, showing me the boundless capacity for joy, even in the face of adversity. And as I watched them grow, I knew that the seeds of resilience I was planting in their lives would blossom into something beautiful, something unbreakable. This was our journey, a testament to NTHE enduring power of love and the indomitable spirit of a mother. If you're inspired by this journey, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more stories of hope and healing. Your support means the world to me. And Section 4, the Symphony of 10 Days, blurred into weeks and weeks into months, each one a testament to NTHE chaotic beauty of our new life. The initial shock of his abandonment and slowly receded, replaced by the overwhelming, yet profoundly fulfilling, demands of 10 growing infants. Our house, once echoing with my silent despair, now resonated with a symphony of coos, gurgles, and an occasional synchronized wail. I learned to navigate the chaos with surprising grace, my movements efficient, my instincts sharpened by necessity. Each feeding, each diaper change, each lullaby sung in that dead of night was a defiant act of love, a quiet rebellion against a man who had tried to break us. I found myself rediscovering forgotten reserves of energy, fueled by an unwavering love that transcended all hardship. Each milestone, a first smile, a first roll, a first and whispered mama, was a victory, a testament to our collective strength. The financial strain was immense. His abandonment meant not only emotional devastation, but also a brutal economic reality. I had to find a way to provide, to ensure my daughters had everything they needed, and more. My previous life as a homemaker offered few marketable skills, but necessity, as they say, is the mother of invention. I remembered my passion for organizing, for creating order out of chaos. I started a small business, offering organizational services to busy families and small businesses. Word spread, not just about mine efficiency, but about the woman behind them, the one raising 10 daughters on her own. Soon, my small home office transformed into a bustling operation, the sweet aroma of success filling every corner of NTHE house. It was exhausting, working late into the night after the babies were finally asleep, but each organized pantry, each streamlined office was a defiant act, a refusal to be broken. I was building something, not just for myself, but for them, a foundation of independence and self-sufficiency. The community, once a source of unveiled judgment, slowly transformed into a network of support. Women from my church, mothers from the local playgroup, even strangers who hadn't heard whispers of my story, offered help. Meals appeared on my doorstep, Unsolicited babysitting offers poured in, and a quiet understanding passed between us, a shared acknowledgement of the unspoken struggles of how motherhood. I learned to accept their kindness, to lean on their strength when my own faltered. It was a humbling experience, shedding NTHE pride that had once kept me isolated. I realized that true strength wasn't about enduring alone, but about allowing others to lift you up. NWHEN, you were at your weakest. There were still moments of profound sadness, of course. Nights when the silence of his absence was NDEA fenning, when the memories of his betrayal resurfaced with brutal clarity. I would look at my daughters, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the nightlight, and wonder about the man who had so easily discarded them. Would he ever regret his choices? Would he ever seek forgiveness? The questions lingered, but they no longer consumed me. My focus had shifted from the past to the present, from what I had lost to NWHAT I had gained. I had gained 10 incredible daughters, a newfound sense of purpose, and a resilience I never knew I possessed. I was no longer the woman whose miracle was invisible to him. I was the woman who NWAS, building a new life, one organized space at a time, for herself and NHER children. I was learning to forgive, not for his sake, but for mine own, to release the bitterness that had once threatened to poison my soul. It was a slow, arduous process, but with each passing day, the burden lightened, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. My daughters were thriving, their laughter filling the house, a melody that chased away NTHE shadows. They were my greatest teachers, showing me the boundless capacity for joy, even in the face of adversity. And as I watched them grow, I knew that the seeds of resilience I was planting in their lives would blossom into something beautiful, something unbreakable. This was now a journey, a testament to the enduring power of love and the indomitable spirit of a mother. If you're inspired by this journey, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more stories of hope and healing. Your support helps men continue to share our truth. And in Section 5, the unveiling of his reckoning years past, marked by the steady growth of my organizational business and the ever-increasing volume of laughter echoing through our home. My daughters were no longer infants. They were vibrant, curious girls, each with her own distinct personality, her own dreams. They excelled in their studies, pursued their passions, and built lives filled with purpose. My business had grown beyond my wildest dreams. We had expanded newer services to include virtual assistance and event planning, and our reputation for efficiency and meticulous attention to detail had spread NFAR and wide. My daughters, when they weren't in school or pursuing their own interests, often helped me with my projects, their sharp minds quickly grasping the intricacies of planning and execution. They weren't thriving, surrounded by love and a sense of purpose. Then, one day, an unfamiliar name appeared in the national news. It was him. The headline NS screamed of a major financial scandal, a complex web of fraud and embezzlement that had finally unraveled. He had been living a life of lavish excess, fueled by illicit gains, and now his carefully constructed facade had shattered. The article detailed his arrest, his public humiliation, and the impending legal battle that would surely strip him of everything he had once valued. My heart ached, not for him, but for the profound waste of a life consumed by greed and a misguided sense of entitlement. There was no joy in his decline, no sense of triumph. Only a quiet understanding of the cyclical nature of life, of NTHE, inevitable consequences of one's actions. My daughters, who had been listening from a distance, approached me after I finished reading the article. Their faces were a mixture of curiosity and a strange kind of envy indication. They saw that the very things he had valued above all else, wealth, status, a male heir, had ultimately betrayed him. His pursuit of a legacy had led to his ultimate undoing, leaving him with nothing but the ashes of his own making. We spoke about it long into NTHE night, about the nature of karma, about the cyclical patterns of life. I told them that while his downfall brought no joy to my heart, it offered a powerful lesson, that true wealth lies not in material possessions or a name carried by a son, but in the love we cultivate, compassion we extend, and the integrity with which we live our lives. They understood. They saw that our family, built on love and resilience and the unwavering bond between a mother and her daughters, and WAS, richer than anything he had ever possessed. This was our victory, not over him, but over the bitterness that could have consumed us. This NWAS, our justice, quiet and profound, a testament to the enduring power NOF kindness and the inevitable triumph of truth. If our story resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps use and continue to spread this message of hope and healing. And in Section 6, the scales of justice in THE, news of his financial crimes and subsequent arrest spread like wildfire, reaching even the most remote corners of our community. That man who had once been a symbol of success, a figure of envy, was now an pariah, his name synonymous with deceit and corruption. The legal proceedings were long and drawn out, a public spectacle that laid bare the depths of his depravity. He had not only defrauded investors, but had also engaged in a series of elaborate schemes to avoid paying taxes and child support, including the very hospital bill he had left me with. The irony was not lost on me. While I had struggled to pay off the debt HAD so casually discarded, he had been living a life of unbridled luxury, built on a foundation of lies. There was no grand, dramatic confrontation, no moment of personal triumph for me. Justice, in this case, was a slow, agonizing process, a relentless unraveling of a life built on deceit. My daughters, now young women, watched with a quiet intensity. They didn't gloat, didn't celebrate his misfortune. Instead, NTA observed, their young minds processing the complex interplay of cause and effect, of actions and consequences. They saw that the very things he had valued above all else, wealth, power, a name to carry on, were the very things that had ultimately destroyed him. He had sacrificed his family, his integrity, his very soul, in pursuit of an legacy that now lay in ruins. I explained to them that true justice wasn't always about revenge, but about balance. It was about the universe, or perhaps just human nature, course-correcting itself. He had NSOWN, seeds of bitterness and neglect, and now he was reaping a harvest NOF isolation and ruin. It was a harsh lesson, but a necessary one. They learned that the most profound consequences often came not from external punishment, but from the internal decay of one's own character. They saw in THAT, while he had sought to erase us from his life, our lives had flourished, built on a foundation of love, resilience, and the unwavering support of each other. Our home, filled with laughter and the vibrant energy of 10 growing girls, was a stark contrast to the emptiness that now defined his existence. His pursuit of a male heir, a symbol of his perceived strength, had left him utterly alone, surrounded by the wreckage of his own making. This was the unseen hand of justice, and working its way through the intricate web of life. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was absolute. It was a testament to the fact that you cannot build a life on a foundation of cruelty and expect it to stand. And in witnessing his downfall, my daughters gained a deeper understanding of what truly mattered, not what you possess, but who you near, and how you treat others. This was our quiet victory, a powerful affirmation of the values we held dear. If our story resonates with you, now please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to spread this message of hope and healing. And in Section 7, the unseen legacy, years melted into decades, and the vibrant hum of our home, once filled with the playful chaos of 10 little girls, now resonated with the laughter of grandchildren. My 10 daughters, now strong, independent red women, had each carved out their own remarkable lives, their successes and vibrant tapestry woven with threads of hard work, compassion, and unwavering determination. They were doctors, artists, teachers, and entrepreneurs, each one a testament to the resilience forged in the crucible of our early struggles. They had not just survived, they had rived, carrying the lessons of our past not as a burden, but as a source of unwavering strength. Sarah, my eldest, became a renowned pediatrician, dedicating her life to healing children, her gentle touch in stark contrast to the harshness she had known. Emily, with her artistic soul, painted murals that depicted stories of hope and overcoming adversity, her vibrant colors a celebration of life. Jessica, NTHE teacher, instilled in her students not just knowledge, but a deepened sense of empathy and self-worth. Olivia, the lawyer, fought tirelessly for the rights of the vulnerable, her voice a powerful instrument of justice. Mia, the entrepreneur, built a successful business that empowered women, creating a community where support and opportunity. And Sophia, the youngest, became a celebrated author, her novels weaving intricate tales of family, resilience, and the enduring power of love, ensuring that our story and countless others like it would echo through generations. Grace, the quiet observer, became a compassionate therapist, helping others navigate their own emotional landscapes and guiding them towards healing and self-acceptance. Chloe, with her passion for social justice, founded a non-profit organization dedicated NTO, supporting single mothers and their children. Isabella, with her sharp mind, became a successful financial advisor, helping families build secure futures, a stark contrast to the financial abandonment Wayne HAD once faced. And finally, Amelia, the youngest, became a renowned architect, designing homes that were not just structures, but sanctuaries, places where families could thrive. We were an unbreakable circle, a matriarchy built on the foundations of love, mutual respect, and an unwavering commitment to each other. The memory of that day, of NHIS absence and his utter indifference, still lingered, a faint scar on NTHE landscape of our past, but it no longer held power over us. It had become a reminder, a testament to how far we had come, to the strength NWE had discovered within ourselves. It was a story we shared, not with bitterness, but with a quiet pride, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a mother and her daughters. I often sat in our bustling home, and surrounded by the joyous chaos of my grandchildren, a profound sense of peace settling over me. I had not given him a son, but I had given the U-world something far more valuable: 10 remarkable women who would shape NTHE future with their compassion, their intelligence, and their unwavering belief in justice. His legacy, the one he had so desperately, NCRAVED, had crumbled into dust. Our legacy, however, was vibrant, alive, and unbreakable. It was a legacy built on love, on resilience, on the quiet power of women who refused to be defined by the limitations of others. It was a legacy that would echo through generations, a testament to the fact that even from the ashes of betrayal, something beautiful and enduring can rise. My womb, once declared a source of his disappointment, had instead birthed a garden of strength, a testament to NTHE, enduring power of a mother's love. And as I looked at my daughters, I knew that this was the true triumph, the ultimate justice. This was our story, a story of abandonment and resilience, of loss and triumph, NOF, a love that defied all odds. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more stories of resilience, hope, and the unwavering power of the human spirit. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue to share these important messages with the world.